Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Crew First Culture Podcast. This is Jeremy again, and thank you for spending some time with me today. Very much appreciate it. My main goal is to try my best to add value in some way to your life. And I almost feel like that's kind of a conceited or ego driven statement, but it's not. I mean, I'm not saying that I guarantee you I can add value to your life. I'm just saying that's the reason I do this. I don't do it so that I can hear myself talk. I don't do it so I can, see my picture everywhere. I do it because I truly feel like I have been given a message that needs to be shared, through the life that I have lived, through the circumstances that I've been through experiences at in the fire service, through leadership opportunities, whatever it is, the life that I have, life I've lived, it has given me a message that I want very much to share with as many people as I can. And so I thank you for allowing me to try to accomplish that today. So today I am basically going to be kind of just digging into a post that I just put out just a few minutes ago. Just it's I laugh because I guess to start out, I had this conversation with a couple of the guys at the firehouse last night. Here recently, I just feel I feel different. I feel like there is something going on. And if anyone out there has kind of experienced this, I'll try to explain a little bit better. But if you've experienced this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But a few times in my life, I've really felt like there is something coming. There's something, that I possibly need to prepare for, or just something different is happening. And that's kind of where I feel like I am right now. I feel like I have been for a couple weeks now, just really pulled in all kinds of directions. Honestly, I have admitted several times, and yeah, I joke about it some, but just seriously, the the ADD type brain that I have makes it very hard to focus on anything specifically for any length of time. And so, writing lengthy articles or even compiling book material or finishing a PowerPoint for a several hour class is very hard, because while I'm working on these specific topics and discussions or whatever I'm addressing, I get two other thoughts that really pop into my head, and they're not really related, but it's almost like I got to get them out. So then, I carry a notebook around. It's just about the size of a normal book, just a journal, basically. That it used to be, I used to have a lot smaller one, but my dog decided to chew it up a couple weeks ago. And so then I spent probably 2 weeks trying to get everything out of that one into this new one and go from there. But just I've really been trying to focus on getting stuff out. And this is something that I've had to do a couple times. Really, it's been a long time since I've been in that area. Over the past year and a half or two, I've really struggled to get stuff out. I've struggled to find things that really struck me and all that. And that's kind of why the content slowed down. I'm not going to just push out stuff that I don't feel something about. And so that's really where the gap in episodes of the podcast and gap in content social media wise, it wasn't there for a while. And now, it's just kind of pouring out, and I'm trying to collect it in as many ways as I can to keep it from disappearing. But it just feels like there's something pulling me in a direction, and it's exciting because I know that when these things happen, it leads to something important. Whatever that is, I don't know. But I do know that right now there's a lot of things on my heart, and kind of a lot of things that I am just kind of thinking through, some things I'm struggling with. And so it's easy for me to sit down with you and throw some of these things out, because that's kind of the point of it. And that's kind of how I've responded to a few people here lately. I've put out several posts that are, basically just thoughts. I'm not saying that this is the right way, or this is the only mindset that works or that makes sense. I'm just throwing out thoughts. And just like I started out with, it's to add value to somebody's life, whether that's because I say something that really speaks to them, or because I say something that sparks a conversation because they don't really agree with it, but it sparks a conversation to dig in and learn more of how they think about it. So, I've responded to a couple of people by saying, I totally respect you not agreeing with me. I'm not in this to be agreed upon everything I say. It's the conversation. It's, the respectful going back and forth of, okay, this is kind of how I see it. Don't really agree with you on that, but this is what I feel. Okay, I kind of get that. This is why I don't feel that. Whatever it is, conversation, man, making the connections with people, learning from each other, helping each other to grow. If you don't agree with somebody, that does not mean that you will not learn something from them, or in some way grow because of that conversation. So anyway, this is again something that has really been kind of hitting me lately, and I've put out a few things kind of all in the same realm of this. But so the picture that I put says, each day we have to make a conscious decision whether or not we will perform at our best. So, and the first line of kind of the commentary, or whatever you want to put on that I had in that post, is this post is probably going to be one of those that causes me to lose some friends. And honestly, I don't want to lose friends, but if this comment, if this idea, if this, outpouring of how I feel causes somebody to not want to be associated with me anymore, then I'm totally fine with that, because I am comfortable in where I sit on this topic. And we'll get into some more of that. But as I was kind of thinking through this, and trying to write up something that really verbalizes my feelings on it, it hits me in so many different ways. It hits me in a way that it makes me sad. It hits me in a way that it makes me, almost angry. It hits me in a way that it really hits me and makes me feel embarrassed in certain ways. But as I got into what I wrote, and you can go look at the post and read it. I'm not going to sit here and go through the whole thing, but just kind of hitting on some of my thoughts as I was writing it. But oh, we like to have our certain things or certain people to blame things on. It's the newer generations. It's social media. It's we're having to lower our standards for HR. It's whatever it is. We've always got somebody or something to blame. You don't have to look really hard to find somebody or something to blame, and that's true with anything, right? That's a conversation I've had with my kids maybe 1,000 times. But sadly, over and over again, I find out that it's not these things. It's not the weak leadership or HR or social media or younger generations. It's us. We are the problem. We are the ones that are okay with minimum. In here, I state that being at the once you cross that line, you become minimum standard compliant. You're one step away from being competent. You're just one step outside of that. That's how good you are. There's so much more. And I saw a quote yesterday that if you're in the middle, you're just as close to the bottom as you are the top. And to me, minimum standards is even worse because you're in the middle, but that middle is it's a huge line. It is a huge difference from those that are below minimum company standards to those that are far above it. So when you're barely over that line, you are barely competent in this job. But we accept that. We fight against having fitness programs. And I'll be very, very honest right now. I haven't been able to work out in a long time. I'm not somebody that is just a diehard fitness person. So I don't have a lot to stand on, I guess is what I'm saying, in that realm. But it's not due to me not finding it as a priority. It's due to some physical things I'm going through right now that is limiting that. But that's who we are. We're fighting against things that will help us, will keep us safe, will keep us healthier. We're fighting against that. We're the people that, and this is probably the backbone of this whole thought for me, and one of the most infuriating things for me, that we are the ones that will fight to the death for the right to do nothing on weekends, like it was some God-given right to use those days for whatever we want. And you have no right to mess with my right to not do anything. I've literally heard people say in no less words that that's something that we fought for. That's something that our union fought to have put in place. And it's like, and that's okay, I guess. That we make that okay. We may only work 10 days a month. 3 of those days are going to be weekends. So 7 days a month, not including whatever you take off because of, vacations or sick leave or kids events or whatever. Well, then you got competing interest with all the different areas of our job. There's no way you can stay competent in this job if that's the mindset of what's acceptable. So it is very frustrating to me. And again, just like the fitness thing, I'll throw this out there. I have been the person that has came into work, that has ate breakfast and has went straight to bed until, we either got a call or it was lunchtime. Got up, ate some lunch, and most likely went and sat in the recliner for a couple more hours. I've been that person. But I didn't have anybody telling me how wrong it was. I didn't see how wrong it was for that to be the norm. And I'm not excusing myself at all. The reason I say it like that is because we have to be that person. If there are people out there that are in that mindset, we've got to be that person that at least tries to show them what we truly owe this job. It doesn't owe us anything. This is not some type of hotel that we go to and expect our sheets to be nice and crisp and clean, and fresh water to be in the fridge, and whatever else we need. For that mindset to be okay, for us to truly be comfortable with those two areas that I brought up, the minimum standard is okay mindset, and the weekends are untouchable mindset. For us to be okay with that, it tells me something, and it is very clear to me that you don't fully recognize and understand the responsibility that you have accepted by being a part of the fire service, as well as the level of commitment that is going to be required of you. Because if you understood that responsibility, if you truly grasp the weight of what we are responsible for, then those things would not even, they would not be acceptable. And it's embarrassing to me, like I said earlier, that's who we are now. We have become that entitled people. I know, one of the posts I put out a couple of days ago, and something that led to some great conversation within my crew. I talked about reputation versus character, and it's funny because reputation is so fluid. My reputation can vary tremendously depending on where you know me from, how well you know me, and most importantly, how your values and your priorities and your mindset lines up with mine. If people hear about what we're trying to do at my firehouse, the culture we're trying to build, and all that, and it's something that they like because they want to be better, they want to challenge themselves, they want to become part of that, then they're gonna have a very positive outlook on my reputation. They're gonna be talking it up a lot more. But if you're a person that hears that same stuff and you are one of the fighters of the weekends off mentality, then I guarantee you your view of my reputation is going to be a much more negative view. But nothing is different. I'm the same. The information that those two people got is the same. It's just the perspective of somebody from their own point of view, what they value. And so for me, I used to think reputation was a lot more important than I do now. I think it still has some importance, but honestly, I don't care. I don't care what my reputation is, because how can I care about it if it's so different across the board? 30% of the people that have a or know a reputation of me may be negative. 70% may be positive. I don't know. I'm just making this crap up. So how can I even put anything into that? I just don't care. But getting back to that main thought, I just admitted that I was that person. I was the person that probably would have had a terrible attitude if somebody tried to start something training wise on a weekend. I was that person that was more than happy to be left alone unless it was something we had to get up and go on, like a call. So I get it. But again, we can't allow it. We can't. It goes against everything that we signed up for. It goes against everything that we took an oath to do. Just as an example, and this is what makes me so irritated about this whole mentality. And before I start, I will say that we're not perfect as a crew. We don't. There are days when physical training doesn't get done. We've got lots of errands to do. We've got station tours or going to schools or EMS classes, whatever it is. But I guarantee you, even if we don't do some type of physical hands-on training, we're sitting at the table at some point having a conversation that we are either growing just as people, growing as in learning some leadership stuff, growing as in just closeness and relationships. We're getting some good out of that day, even on the days that from the outside may not look like we are doing anything positive. But even on the days we do, I'm not asking for 8 hours of training. Never. There's not been one day as a station officer I've ever required my crew to work for 8 hours training to satisfy something within me that I feel like we have to satisfy. Not even close. I couldn't maintain that. There's no way that I could maintain the drive to stay in that requirement for very long. I would get burned out. Some days it's 2 hours. Some days it's 1 hour. Some days, like I said, that have a lot of other things going on. Some days we might just get 45 minutes of good training in. So that being said, going back to the weekends, we've had weekends to where, and we've done it both ways. We've went straight from checking trucks to doing training, then back to breakfast. and we've went from checking trucks to eating breakfast, then going to train. But either way, we're done by 9 or 10 o'clock. And that's it. You still have several hours before lunch that you can do whatever. I mean, literally, we can go train, get some good quality training like we did yesterday. Got out and got a couple hours of really good training because I've got two very new firefighters. And yesterday specifically, I had a very new driver with me who all were more than happy, more than willing to go get some good out of the day. So we got several hours in the morning. We got some calls too, but we ate breakfast before we left. Because of the calls, it stretched the morning out further than it would have. But still, we were back by lunchtime, and that was it. I didn't ask anything else out of them. I don't need to. All I ask is they give me some time in the morning to get better. Give me some energy. Give me, an open mind, some work ethic to make us better. And then the rest of the day is yours. If you want to rest some, because chances are we're going to be up at night running calls. Okay, I'm not going to find busy work for these people that do more before lunchtime than 90% of the other crews out there all day. That's all I ask. And so why is that too much? Why is it too much to ask to give me an hour on a weekend to train? I don't understand. So anyway, I'll leave it at that, because obviously, from this point, I'm just beating it to death. But you get the point. You understand where I'm coming from. You either agree or you don't agree. If you don't agree, hopefully I said something that at least puts some question in your mind of why you don't agree. Hopefully that gives you something to think about. Maybe there's a different way to find some middle ground, to get some training in, but still have a lot of time for, whatever you want to do. But again, and I'm sorry, I told you I was going to wrap it up, but I mean, seriously, is that what we have the right to be upset about? That you're not allowing me to do what I want to do on the weekends? I mean, I get to sleep and get paid. I get to play basketball and pickleball and cornhole and all that and get paid. I get to eat and get paid. I get to sit and watch sports and get paid. Yeah, I run calls when the calls come in. But for us to have the mindset that we have the right to whine and complain about spending some of our time while we're getting paid to do something that makes us better, makes us more competent, makes us a closer crew, enhances the culture, it's crazy. It's truly crazy. And again, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that we have that mentality that's okay now. So like I said, I will leave it at that, and I'm not going to jump on anything else. But as I ended that article, I say every day we have a choice. I didn't say every weekday we have a choice. Every day we have a decision to make. Every day we get to choose if we're going to do something positive with that day, if we are going to do something to take advantage of this great opportunity that we have been given, that is to be a part of this fire service, to serve others, to help others. So every day, it's not about what I want to do. We have to put weight into why we're here. Every day we should want to try to perform at our best, should try to want to grow just a little bit, because we are here to serve others. And there's no better way to do that than to be at the best. I'm trying to say this right. I don't think I said it right. The best possible way for us to serve our citizens is to be at the best and top of the abilities and competence levels that we can. And we can only do that by making consistent decisions to perform every day, to get better every day, to squeeze a little bit of good out of every day. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it so much. Sorry if I get too much on soapbox on some of this stuff. I feel like we have a lot of room to get better, and I want us to get better so badly. So thank you. I hope I said something to add a little bit of value. At the very least, I hope I said something that stirred some thoughts in you, started some conversations with you and others. And outside of that, I appreciate your time. I will be in Wisconsin next weekend with Sean Duffy. If you're anywhere around that area, Campbellsport, I believe, is the town we'll be in. It's just north of Milwaukee, but anybody that is in reachable distance of that, I'd love to see you out and share with you not only the passion I have, but that'll be the first time I've actually kind of got with Sean in a class and worked with him. So it'd be fun to play off each other. So come see me, come see us if you're up that way. And outside of that, please, if you do get anything out of this or any other content that I put out, please share and like and subscribe. Take the time to review if you will. I'm so appreciative of that. I want to reach as many people as I can, because I feel like there's a lot of people out there that need to hear it. So as I said in the past, if you do take the time to review the podcast, I will send you some stickers as a thank you for that. Just let me know through direct message that you did, and I'll get some coming your way. So thank you for your time. Until next time, stay humble and do work.